couple of years ago, I started wondering if it was possible to get from the Columbia River to the California border by traveling on gravel roads through the Oregon coastal mountains. A route slowly appeared from my research, so some buddies and I decided to run it. You're welcome to come along for the ride. Good morning. Today is July 8th. I'm in Longview, Washington, headed for Oregon. I'm going to cross the bridge over the Columbia River and turn right, and we're going to go to a place called Aldridge Point. And from there, we're going to head south through the Oregon coastal mountains to the California border. And that's Oregon on the other side. We turned off Highway 30 and are headed for Aldridge Point. Welcome to Aldridge Point. This is pretty close to the farthest northerly point you can drive in Oregon. This is the Columbia River. The main channel is on the other side of that island right there. And if you look carefully, you can see an ocean-going freighter moving up the river. And welcome to the Oregon Coastal Forest. This whole route goes through a mix of private and public lands. More foxglove. Daisies. Lots and lots of white daisies. And these are a mix of cedar on the left with a few firs and conifers stuck in for good measure. And we're into an area that's been logged before. Ooh, lots of foxglove. Other vehicles. You got a truck coming at you. This looks like alder in here.
We go to the right at this next intersection, don't we?
Sorry, left.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'll wait for you. Driving the woods around here, you'll find gravel roads, and then you'll find paved sections of the same road through the forest.
Some more of that funny road surface.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you up ahead.
I'm coming your way. You headed up toward 202?
Copy that. We've been on pavement for a little bit, and we're going to stay on pavement for a little bit. Coming up to the little town of Jewel, Oregon. Even though this road is paved, it's fun to drive. Lots of little twists and turns in it as it wiggles its way through private property. And then there's the log trucks. Another log truck coming at you. Nice little pullouts in here. Park the rig, go fishing, wading in the water. This road parallels the Nehalem River. Log truck, single lane gravel road. I did not see a sign that said what CB channel they were on. That evening, Rick and I met up with my buddy Charles, our third traveling companion, at the Nehalem Falls campground. Just leaving Nehalem Falls campground, headed for the second day of our trip. We met up with Charles here. This place is worth a stop to take a look at the falls. I've got my CB radio turned to channel 15. We probably want to stay fairly close together in case there's a log truck.
Okay, yeah, I think it's too bad. I'll take my radio out too.
The sign back there said we're in an active logging area, so I'm going a little bit slower and paying attention to what's ahead of me CB radio is mandatory for this trip, mainly because that's what the truckers use. When you're entering a logging area, the trucker, there'll be a sign that says what CB channel to monitor, and in this case it's channel 15. And just here on the right, mile one and a half, the logging companies put those signs up, and the truckers announce where they are based on those numbers. The numbers will be either on the left or the right side of the road. Here is a close-up example of the mileage marker showing the miles, logging tract, and CB channel that the truckers are using. We're going left at the Y.
Yeah, is that driver's side left or passenger side left?
Driver's side.
So Charles, does this country look a little different than you're used to?
Does. A lot more green than I'm used to. Like I tell Larry, I like big landscape. And what happens with up here in the trees and the forest becomes more of a tunnel effect for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It's repetitive, you know, as the old saying goes, can't see the forest for the trees when you're buried in this, but then you break out on one of those rivers, or you'll come out across a clearing, you know, an opening, and can see for, 5 ridge lines where it's beautiful.
Yeah, tip for. No, I'm just saying, the first couple of days will be fine. By the 5th day, then it starts to get old. That's what I'm saying. But I like that purple lemon I'm seeing on the right side here. Very pretty.
Oh yeah, there's lots of that here.
One of the things that you'll see in this trip is, it's relatively the same flora and fauna that you'll see from here down to Mapleton, but on that second half of the trip, as you're moving your way into southern Oregon, there's a pretty dramatic change in going from, this sword fern and Boston fern and a lot of salal and that to firs, to southern Oregon being more piney woods and chinkapin.
And we're in a clear cut. The logging companies clear cut the Douglas firs so that the replanted seedlings get all the sunshine that they need.
See the loggers up on top of the mountain there.
Yeah, I can see the loader up there stacking the deck right now, so they must be loading off the other side.
When I scouted this section, I was here on a Saturday and wasn't much going on.
Yeah, 10-4. Got locked.
Yep, there's the loggers.
It's got both purple and white flowers on it.
The cable drags them up the hill, is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
You see that big red box-looking thing hanging from the cable?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's actually got a diesel engine in it with a hydraulic lift setup. So they run that. There's a messenger cable that goes down, and they use a radio remote to lower a cable, and that's what the choker hooks to the log, and then they pull the whole thing back up.
He's sitting right on the road, Rick, so we might have to wait a minute.
No problem. I'm always heartbroken when somebody sticks me with a view like this.
Yeah, I get you. Don't see any logging trucks up here, so I guess he's pretty much just stacking what he's got here.
The operator finished stacking the logs and moved off the road so we could pass. So far I've heard nothing on Channel 13 from these guys.
Like I said, he didn't have any trucks up here at all. So maybe there's more operations farther up, who knows?
Yeah, they can only cut from, I think it's 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. because of the fire danger. But they can work the decks all day.
Oftentimes they run the logging operation on a different channel than they run the trucks on, so that they can, they can kind of be talking simultaneously. And you'll see a second sign close to the logging op that'll say what channel they're on.
Yeah, I've seen that in some places, but I didn't notice it here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it was the first time I've ever. Are they indigenous in this forest or no? I imagine so.
I don't know what they are, and I've never seen them. There's a stump in the way here, just be careful going around it. But they were definitely pretty little lanterns.
I don't foresee a logging truck on this road.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. We got something low hanging.
I think I got through it okay. I might have rubbed on the right, but I think I'm okay. Good luck there, Rick.
There's a boulder on one side of the road.
The other side looks sharper, but the boulder, worst comes to worst, you drive over it. I got by it okay.
I'm going to move the little rock.
We are working our way down to the Trask River. Chainsaw would be highly recommended if somebody else is doing this trail. That was a big drop off. Right behind me is a unseen, can't see it, hole. So just be careful going through that little washout right there. We are still working our way down to the Trask. I'm going to have to check and see how much we're dropping. And we're pretty close to being all the way down. There's Charles coming down. And here comes Rick.
How'd it go in the low range, Larry? That stable track started smoking my brakes. I could smell it.
Yeah, I had to put it in low range too. This is a pretty steep downgrade. Gorgeous creek. And we are back into another clear cut area. Looks like they're doing some road work there. Looked like they were getting ready to do some logging in that area, doing all the prep work.
Yeah, I see several landings going in.
Yeah, there's also a bunch of new roads being cut in. Watch out for the potholes.
You're a little late on that announcement.
I do the best I can. Well, Cedar Creek is on our right, down in the valley there. We're about to cross the Wilson River.
Are we on Highway 101 or what?
No, this is Highway 6, Portland to Tillamook. We're back in a active logging area after being on Highway 6 for just a little bit. And there's mile 1 marker for the logging. And it's a Ben Smith track, and it's Channel 7. And there's mile marker 2. This looks like a reasonable spot for lunch. Oh, that's a nice view. Well, that would make a nice campsite right there. The bald spots on the mountains are old clear cuts that have been replanted. There are some very steep hills on this route. From their size, it looks like the new Douglas fir seedlings are 3 to 4 years old.
The view's not bad up here.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. Quite the cliff face. Another really tight left turn.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm gonna stop and move a branch. Boy, there's a lot of white daisies in here. Right now we're dropping down off another ridge and heading into another river valley. And another horseshoe bend. You can use PayPal to make a contribution to help support the creation of more videos on this channel. The link is in the description below. Yeah, I can see the tower directly ahead of it.
Yeah, 10-4. I don't see anything going on up there. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the issue. You don't know if they're working or if they're not working. Got a car coming at us. Yeah, I imagine they start fairly early so they can get a lot of work done before it gets hot. And also before they shut them down at 1 o'clock. But they're getting ready to do quite a lot more logging in the Tillamook Forest here, and definitely need to be paying attention to the road as you're driving down through here and seeing what's coming at you. Beautiful view. Well, here's our campground for the second night. The red Colorado is Rick's, silver Colorado is Charles's, and the silver Jeep is mine. In the next episode, we will cross 12 rivers, see some waterfalls, and some stunning views as we continue our way south through the coastal mountains.